All right, get ready, because today we're diving into the world of Frederik Eklund.
Oh, yeah, Frederik Eklund.
You know, the real estate superstar. He went from selling Swedish fish on the streets of New York
Swedish fish.
to closing, wait for it, billions, with a B,
Wow,
in
Billy.
luxury real estate. But here's the thing.
Okay.
We're not just here to, gawk at his success, you know?
Right.
We're digging into how he operates.
Yeah.
How he gets things done. Because I think we can all agree we could learn a thing or two
Absolutely.
from somebody who's achieved that kind of success.
Absolutely. And what's fascinating about Eklund is that it's not just about selling these, incredible apartments.
Right.
It's about performing at your peak,
Mm-hmm.
even under, insane pressure.
Oh.
Think about it. This guy is juggling a demanding schedule, filming a reality show,
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that part.
managing international businesses.
Right.
And he still manages to, stay on top of the New York real estate market.
I'm exhausted just thinking about it.
I know, right?
So how does he do it?
Right.
He's got to have some, serious time management secrets.
He does, and he calls his approach organized chaos.
Organized chaos.
It's a thing, yeah. And it might sound a little counterintuitive.
Yeah, a little bit.
But it makes sense when you realize how strategic he is about what he focuses on.
Okay.
For example, you rarely see Eklund out there himself doing showings these days.
Yeah.
He delegates those day-to-day tasks to his team so that he can focus on the things that'll have the biggest impact. Securing those high-level development deals.
Wow.
Building those relationships with the people who, make those deals happen.
So it's about, identifying those leverage points?
Yeah.
Those key tasks?
Yeah.
Like the 20% that moves the needle the furthest.
Exactly.
And that probably means getting comfortable saying no to a lot of things, even when it's hard.
Oh, absolutely. He realized early on that you can't be everything to everyone
Right.
if you want to operate at his level. Now, this doesn't mean he's not in the details.
Okay.
If anything, it's the opposite.
Right.
Eklund is super involved in the pre-development process, way early.
Wow, so he's in there.
Oh, yeah. Advising developers on, everything. Ideal unit sizes, what buyers will want years down the line,
Right.
He's literally shaping the market,
That's amazing.
not just reacting to it.
That's next level.
I know.
We always hear, be proactive, be proactive. But he's taking a quantum leap beyond that.
He's living it. Yeah.
But, okay, if you're working with all these developers, all of them with their own vision, their own demands, how do you manage those expectations?
Oh,
That's got to be such a juggling act.
it is, even for someone like Eklund. There's a story he tells
Okay.
about being one of the only agents to close a huge deal in Soho right when the market was down.
Oh, wow.
And it highlights two of his biggest strengths. First, he just gets market trends, he has this deep understanding. And second,
What's the second?
resilience. This guy, he moved to a new country, conquered the most cutthroat real estate scene.
Yeah, New York's no joke.
He doesn't shy away from a challenge.
So it's not just about understanding the market.
Right.
It's about, trusting your gut
Totally.
and betting on yourself even when things get tough.
100%. And you know that confidence.
Yeah.
It's not just attractive to clients. It's a key ingredient
Mm-hmm.
in his whole approach to the business.
Makes sense.
But let's go a little deeper, because Eklund's success, it's more than just bravado and a good feeling.
Okay.
The guy is strategic, incredibly strategic.
All right, so we're talking strategy then.
Let's do it.
So we're talking strategy.
Strategy.
And when it comes to, building a real estate empire, it's all about generating leads, right?
Yeah.
So what's Eklund's secret? I mean, did he have some kind of, groundbreaking lead generation technique?
It might actually surprise you to hear that his number one tip is really simple.
Okay.
Stay in touch.
Stay in touch. Okay, I can already hear people listening being like, come on, tell us something we don't know.
Right.
But it's one thing to say it. It's a
Yes.
whole other thing to actually, do it right.
Totally.
So how does Eklund, operating at his level,
Right.
put that into practice? Get into the specifics.
It's all about consistency and really personalized outreach. He actually talked about going through his contact list alphabetically,
Wow.
making sure that he is nurturing those relationships, even if there isn't, a deal right there on the table.
Right.
And, I think a lot of people, they focus so much on the deal that's right in front of them.
Right, the immediate thing.
But Eklund, he's playing the long game. He gets that somebody who's in his contacts today could be a multi-million-dollar client tomorrow, or
they know someone. Right.
Exactly.
That's such a good point.
Yeah.
That old saying, your network is your net worth.
100%.
But let's be honest, asking for referrals directly can be kind of awkward.
Oh, tell me about it.
Like, I'm sure a lot of people listening right now are like, ooh, I hate doing that.
It can feel, yeah.
So how does Eklund approach that? Because he doesn't seem like he has a problem with it.
No, he doesn't. Eklund is not afraid to ask for those referrals.
Okay.
Because he knows he delivers the goods, you know what I mean?
Right.
He believes in the value he provides. He's direct about it, but he's not pushy.
Right. There's a fine line.
Oh, totally.
And honestly, when you're exceeding expectations like he is,
Right.
those referrals probably come a little easier.
They do.
People want to work with winners.
100%. They want to recommend people that they trust.
It all comes back to building that reputation.
Yeah.
But Eklund's success, it takes more than just like a great network and, knowing how to close those deals.
Right.
He sets these really ambitious goals for himself and his team.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you were saying earlier how he just operates at like peak performance.
Yeah, peak performance.
This is where it gets really interesting. Tell us more.
So Eklund and his business partner, they shoot for something like $25 million.
Hold on, $25 million?
$25 million
Okay.
in closed sales every single month.
Whoa, every month?
Every month.
Okay, that's next level.
Next level ambition right there.
Picking my jaw up off the floor. I can't even imagine the hustle, the drive that you have to hit those kinds of numbers month after month.
Month after month, yeah.
And it makes you wonder about, the whole work-life balance thing. Like, is that even possible in that kind of pressure cooker environment?
It's a question that, Eklund himself has really wrestled with. He's admitted that he hasn't always gotten it right, especially like early on when he was building his business.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, think about it.
That's a lot.
Launching a company in Sweden, navigating New York real estate, the show.
And the show, oh my gosh.
All while trying to, reach the top.
Yeah.
It's a lot to handle.
It's a good reminder, though, that even, people at the very, very top, they still deal with this.
They do.
That feeling of never enough. Yeah. It can creep in no matter what you've achieved.
It really can.
So how does he handle that pressure now? Like, has he figured out how to kind of balance his ambition with having, a personal life?
Yeah, it's a good question.
So he's driven, but it seems like he's kind of learned there's more to life than closing the next deal,
Yeah, he's definitely on a journey. He's really open about, how his approach has changed over time. Getting married, prioritizing his well-being.
Yeah.
Those are all part of this next chapter for him, it seems like.
I love that he's so open about that evolution, Makes him relatable, even with his kind of crazy life.
Totally.
But I'm curious, with all he's achieved, when he was asked about regrets, were there any big aha moments for him? Things he would have done differently? When he was asked about regrets, his perspective is really interesting.
Okay.
He doesn't see them as mistakes so much as, experiences, things that shaped who he is.
Yeah, I love that. So easy to get caught up in the shoulda, woulda, couldas.
I know, right?
But I guess that kind of thinking doesn't really fly when you're at his level.
Gotta let it go.
So what does he point to as those key learning moments? What's an example of something he learned from?
He talks about mentorship and how it's something he wishes he had embraced sooner. He talks about how much he observed other top agents when he was starting out, like really dissected how they acted, how they presented themselves.
Wow.
Basically reverse engineering their success.
That's amazing.
And it just goes to show, even someone as naturally gifted as Eklund
still saw how important it was to learn from the best.
That's such a good point.
Yeah.
We don't have all the answers.
Nope.
Finding that mentor could be so huge.
Absolutely. Someone who's been there.
Yeah. And speaking of learning and adapting, we can't forget his decision to do the reality show.
Oh, yeah. That was a big one.
It was a big risk for some people.
Definitely controversial.
But, I mean, it obviously paid off.
It did.
What do you think that says about him?
It shows he's willing to embrace new things, even if they go against, how it's supposed to be done.
Yeah.
I remember we were talking about how he shapes the market instead of just reacting to it.
Yeah.
I think that applies to his career, too.
So
he's not afraid to, bet on himself.
Yeah. And you got to do that in real estate.
Well, absolutely. Especially if you want to stay relevant.
Things change so fast.
All the time. He actually pointed out that a lot of the top agents from when he started, they're gone.
Really?
They didn't adapt.
Wow.
New tech, new ways of doing business.
It's amazing how many people just get stuck.
It's easy to do.
Yeah.
But Eklund, he realized early on that technology,
Yeah.
it wasn't just a tool. It could give you a real edge.
Like when he was talking about using a BlackBerry back in the day
Oh, yeah.
to stay connected in real time. Seems kind of funny now.
Right.
But he was ahead of the game.
He was. He saw what was coming.
And that brings us to, something to think about.
Okay.
What's the BlackBerry of today's market?
Ooh, that's a good one.
What's going to be the next game changer?
Right. Is it virtual tours? Social media?
AI, maybe?
Could be. What do you think?
Honestly, who knows? But the landscape's always changing.
Always.
And Eklund's story shows what happens when you put in the work,
The hustle.
when you think strategically.
And yeah, you got to have some ambition too.
Yeah, you got to want to achieve those big goals.
For sure. But I think it's also about, staying true to yourself.
Totally.
Finding the joy in it, not just chasing the next deal.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Oh,
Remember, everybody, your network is your net worth.
that's right.
So stay connected, stay curious, and for goodness sakes, stay ahead of the curve.
Until next time.
Happy deal making, everyone.